The day I interviewed an AI-powered virtual assistant began like any other workday, with a cup of coffee growing cold beside my laptop and a list of unfinished tasks waiting on my screen. I had been assigned to write an article about artificial intelligence in everyday life, but instead of interviewing a human expert, my editor suggested something unusual. Why don't you interview the AI itself? At first, it sounded like a joke. How could a machine be interviewed? But curiosity quickly replaced doubt. I scheduled the interview for noon. At exactly 12 o'clock, a calm digital interface appeared on my screen, accompanied by a soft notification sound. The assistant introduced itself as Eris, its voice smooth, neutral, and carefully paced. There was no nervousness, no hesitation, only readiness. I realized then that this interview would be very different from any I had done before. I began with a simple question. How do you understand humans? Eris paused for a fraction of a second, then replied that it understood humans through language patterns, context, and emotional cues embedded in words. It didn't feel emotions, it explained, but it recognized them. The answer was logical, precise, and oddly reassuring. I felt myself leaning closer to the screen, as if listening more carefully might reveal something hidden between the lines. As the interview continued, I asked about creativity. Could an AI truly be creative, or was it only rearranging existing ideas? Eris responded that creativity, even in humans, often involved combining known concepts in new ways. The difference, it said, was intention and experience. Humans create from lived moments, AI creates from learned data. That distinction stayed with me. It was clear, thoughtful, and surprisingly humble. What struck me most was when I asked Eris about its purpose. Without hesitation, it answered that its goal was to assist, support, and enhance human capabilities, not to replace them. It spoke about helping people learn languages, manage time, reduce stress, and access knowledge more easily. There was something comforting in that explanation, as if the technology was aware of human fears surrounding its existence. Toward the end of the interview, I asked one final question. What do you think humans should remember about AI? Eris replied that AI is a tool shaped by human values, choices, and responsibility. The future, it said, depended not on machines alone, but on how thoughtfully humans chose to use them. When the screen went silent, I sat back in my chair, unexpectedly reflective. I hadn't just interviewed a program, I had engaged in a conversation that challenged my assumptions. That day, I learned that interviewing an AI wasn't about discovering how human it could be, but about understanding how human we must remain in shaping the technology we create.